Alright, my name's Andrew Munford. Let's get into this. Alright, so I just did a bit of research on lead piping, and it turns out there's actually really bad corrosion between lead and copper that puts a lot of lead into the stream, so we want to avoid that if at all possible. Right, so did some research about the level of acidity that lead has, and it's a little bit acidic, but not terribly. So we want a slight alkaline or base, however you want to call it. That's what we want to put in the water. So I started thinking, and the Romans used lead pipes, and that was not actually a problem. A lot of people thought it was the problem, but it was actually the cups. Cups were the bad part. Cups were the part where the Romans got all crazy, and that kind of led to the downfall of the Roman Empire. Anyway, that's not the point, but the reason the lead wasn't the problem in the pipes was because calcium, the natural calcium in the water supply, lined the piping to protect it from the lead. After finding out that the calcium protected it for the Romans, I was wondering if we just put calcium in the water, could that be a potential solution? But it's not really reactive enough, and also can be dangerous in large amounts, so we can't really go ahead and do that. Okay, so I started looking at things similar to calcium, and I found zinc, but once again, zinc just isn't quite reactive enough to properly bind on. Okay, so I started to look at variants on zinc, so when zinc is being binded with others, because zinc was so close to being good enough, and I found zinc orthophosphate, which is a variant of zinc, and looking at it, I can't see a problem with it. So I started to look at how I could make the binding quicker and more efficient. And then I came up, after research, finding that these things called seeding agents can make the process a lot quicker. So I started trying to find a good seeding agent that would work well with a combination of lead and zinc orthophosphate. And I found sodium pyrophosphate written right here. And if we put that in before we put in the zinc, then it should work a lot quicker when we put in the zinc. Alright, so I started to look at how we can actually put in, because it would be really hard and quite expensive to pay somebody to go in and drop a certain amount every 20 minutes. So I looked at pumps, and there are these things called chemical metering pumps that go for around $800, which is still pretty cost efficient considering how important that is. Just a quick recap, the main chemical is the zinc orthophosphate, but before we put that in, we're going to put in the sodium pyrophosphate so that the zinc can attach better to the lead, and we're going to put that in using a chemical metering pump so that we dose it the right amount so we get an even spread of the chemicals. We don't have a ton of zinc orthophosphate here, and then none there, so that we still get lead in, and the water flow is constricted. So we need this chemical metering pump. Overall, it's nice and cost efficient. $800, $80 per tub. Around the same for the sodium pyrophosphate, and yeah, it's a great solution.